Fellas, welcome back. It is the final episode of the Darden series today because the push is over. I am putting a stop to this phase because relative to the challenges that I've run into, which I'm going to run up in a second, and the amount of new muscle I'm trying to accumulate now, which is not a lot, I deem it justifiable to start to descend. Not really from a body composition perspective. You know, when I look at the shots, I'm pretty tight still. It's just, as I said, because of the challenges I've run into, there's a trade-off to be had, and I would rather drop food to check those boxes in terms of rectification than try and continue to push on and piss the body off. In terms of my thoughts around the progress that I've made in this phase, pretty happy. When you are ascending in the absence of PEDs, in my coaching and anecdotal experience, you do need to run 2 push phases, which is why I've obviously run this push now. I'm going to head into a mini diet and then push again, which is what I'll run up further in the video later on. In terms of actual muscle development progress, pretty happy with the changes. I certainly look a lot fuller, which I find to be the major objective of the first push when you do reverse out of a formal diet, which is obviously what I've just done. There's still certainly gains to be made in the muscle groups that I initially said I wanted to improve: traps, forearms, neck, biceps, calves, and that is what I will look to improve upon in that final push phase of the year, which is what I'm going to run into after this mini diet. But yeah, generally speaking, fellas, happy with the progress. But yeah, that second push is certainly needed to complete the physique. And given the fact that we are mid-August now, there's still a chunk of time to go in this year and still more gains to be made. So that is what I will be gunning down for the rest of the year. Anyway, enough waffle from me. Let's get to the whiteboard and I will run through the challenges that I experienced in this push phase. Right, how are we looking? We should be good. Okay, let's rock and roll. Challenges. In order of annoyance, these are the challenges. So first things first is brain fog. This has absolutely been the worst one for me, / mental clarity issues. Oh yeah, fellas, you like this t-shirt, by the way? This is one of the t-shirts I've had made here in Bali. It's a ribbed material. I don't know if you can see it. It's a little bit dirty. Apologies for that. Bit tight on the arms. Bit of a cropped fit. I think it fits well. Let me know in the comments if you'd rock something like this. Anyway, challenges. So yeah, first one is brain fog. See, losing my head already. Need to drop my food intake. It's ridiculous. Second one is energy issues. And I'll explain all of these in a second. You'll have to excuse the dirty whiteboard as well. I decided to buy a permanent marker, which has not been easy to get off this board. Third one, nervous system dysregulation. This is a very uncomfortable issue. Fourth one is sleep disturbances. Now, all of these issues, fellas, are all interlinked. And this is information, what I'm going to run up now, that I wish I knew many, many pushes ago, because this is how you best preserve your health. Because, as I've said on previous videos, adding muscle tissue is not actually a healthy thing to do because you need to push the body in order to do it. It's adding a tissue it doesn't evolutionarily really want a lot of. So, as I said, all of these issues are interlinked. What is the root cause of all of these issues? The root cause is chronic inflammation. So, despite me living the quantum lifestyle, grounding every day, getting as much sun as possible, doing sauna, doing CT, eating seafood, blocking blue light at night, limiting non-native EMF exposure, and so on, I've still run into these issues because my inflammation levels over the phase has ascended. Now, when inflammation climbs, your redox, which is your net negative charge, which is what health is essentially all about, I won't go into it too much, drops. And when your redox drops and inflammation is high, you run into mineral dysregulation. And this is what I have evidently run into, hence these issues. So brain fog, mental clarity issues, this is largely due to a lack of copper and zinc and B vitamins. Energy issues, again, certainly a lack of copper, too much iron from pounding so much food, specifically processed food, which I've needed to do at times, such as cereal, to simply get the calories in. And then number 3, nervous system dysregulation. This is more so your lack of magnesium, your lack of zinc, And then that again feeds into sleep disturbances because they're so closely tied together. Again, lack of magnesium, zinc, B vitamins. So despite, as I said, me living the quantum lifestyle, doing everything in my power to ensure that I kept inflammation as low as possible, I still ran into these issues. And I'm sure a chunk of you that watch this video can relate to, unfortunately, this shit that does arise during a push. So relative to where I'm at now, physique wise, and the amount of muscle I'm still trying to accumulate, which is not a lot at all, I'm cutting the phase because I don't want to continue to press on and piss my body off. So I'm going to exit the phase now, drop my food, build redox, reduce inflammation, readdress mineral deficiencies that I've run into, and get the body back on side, because yeah, this has absolutely impacted me from a sort of coaching perspective and, you know, creativity perspective and all of that good shit that I need to be, you know, on top of, because my philosophy with this whole coaching process in terms of body composition improvement is you need to optimize your personal, professional and physical aspects as a guy in your life. And right now I have improved my physical aspect, but subsequently that professional and that personal is being now hindered, because of these issues. So time to exit the phase, drop the food, build back the health. So, fellas, that's the challenges. I'm now going to run up exactly what the plan of action is for the rest of this year so I can continue to make progress whilst preserving health. So fellas, next steps. I'm gonna now head into a mini diet, which is gonna last about 5 weeks in duration, and I'm gonna look to pull off about 5 pounds. Tidy body composition, build health, build redox, reduce inflammation. I'm then gonna head into a second push because, as I mentioned previously, you need to run into 2 push phases if you are to evidently stack new muscle tissue. So that second push will last about 8 weeks, and I'm gonna look to put on another 10 pounds during that period of time. I'll then hold a set point phase for a couple of weeks just to basically embed that new muscle tissue, which I've discussed in previous videos, before I then formally diet down, which is probably going to take me to March next year. That diet, I'm going to hopefully land at about 202 pounds at 9% body fat, which is what I started this series at. So, you know, 196, 202, we're looking at about 7 pounds of new muscle tissue, maybe 5, if I continue to obviously execute with precision. So fellas, that is a wrap. Before I leave you, I just want to run this up. If you haven't yet been to an environment like Bali, like Dubai, like Miami, these central hubs where these highly motivated, highly driven guys come, then try and get yourself to one of these environments. You don't need to come and live here, but even if you come for a couple of weeks, do it, because it's going to light that fire up your ass. We all need a bit of motivation at times, and coming to these environments is going to give you just that. There's guys out here that are killing life, physically, personally, professionally, nailing all 3 of those components, which I always harp on about. And like I said, it's going to give you that, which is what we all need. So, fellas, it's been a ride. Hopefully you've enjoyed the series. Hopefully you've taken some value from it. Moving forward, the plan is to pump videos out, 1 video every 5 days, which is not going to be easy, but that's the plan. So yeah, fellas, let's keep shit moving forward. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Until next time, I will see you very soon. Peace and love.
As we live through the highs